Good evening, everyone. We're here tonight for the Women's Supa-Liga Grand Final between the Northern Hawks and the Perth Pumas. I'm joined with Luke Ross in the commentary box tonight, and we've just got the lineups on screen. So for the Northern Hawks, it's Kayla McCulloch, Jade Paul, Van Vogt, Coral Buxey, Ingrid Basalo, Emma Elias, Sophie Podmore, Suckling, Crevacore, and Carla Edwards. And for the Perth Pumas, it is Gabby Del Busco, Judy Connolly, Jess Jan, Abby Meekins, Jess Flannery, and Abby Woolley. The two referees for tonight's match are Tom Claver and Albert Miyembe. And we'll just run through some statistics from throughout the season. So the Northern Hawks finished the season in second spot, defeated the West Coast Cobras in penalties in the semi-final. The Perth Pumas defeated league champions Western Devils in their semi-final 3-2 after coming from behind 2-1 with about 5 minutes to go. Two very entertaining semi-finals that will be backed up by a big grand final, I'm sure. And the head-to-head results between these two teams are round 6, the Hawks beat the Pumas 3-2. Round 11, the Hawks beat the Pumas 5-2, and in round 16, they played out a 6-all draw, so not much to separate these two sides as we get underway in front of quite a big crowd tonight. Hawks get us kicked off through Paul, and she looks to find Podmore. Woolley tries to win it off her, out to Meekins, and now the Pumas get in some possession. Jess Jan playing the grand final on her birthday. I'm sure she'll want nothing more than to win the whole thing as a big birthday present. And early thoughts on the match for tonight, Luke?
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be an interesting one. I think the Northern Hawks would have to be favourites as they are probably the more traditional futsal team, and the Western Devils, not the Western Devils, the Perth Pumas are only playing with one on the bench, it looks like. But they're a good team, and they beat the Devils, obviously, in quite shocking fashion last week. So I think it could go either way. So, yeah, the captain for the Perth Pumas, Jess Bryn, she got a red card probably with a minute left last week after a off-the-ball headbutt. And I'd say if they don't win, it's probably due to that. Obviously, she dictates the play from the game, and she is a good player and a very good player in the outdoor game as well, I've been told.
Yeah, big out for them, Jess Byrne. A red card in controversial circumstances.
I don't know if it was controversial.
A straight red on Nellie Clayton as a form of retaliation after a foul from what I remember, but it was actually Nellie Clayton that got sent off in the Supa-Liga B Grand Final this week, so both players involved in the incident will be suspended for round 1 of next season, but the Devils were triumphant without her for the final few minutes. We'll see if the Pumas can mirror the same. It's not going to be easy, though. One sub on the bench in a grand final. I'm not sure we've seen this for quite a while, Luke.
No, I don't think so. But that's a beautiful turn by Jess John, the birthday girl, wearing the number 23. And she gets on it. Meekins gives it to Connolly, and she gives it wide, and that's good from the Perth Pumas. They didn't quite get that counter-attack, but they've kept possession as Woolley blasts that into Podmore. I think just a few big names from either side. You've got Judy Connolly and Abby Meekins. I'd say the two star players from the Perth Pumas. Just while we say that, Emma Yillas has gone, and that's a big save by Gabby Del Bosco. Jade Paul goes wide to Podmore. She goes to the back post to Yillas. Yillas to McCulloch. She couldn't quite wrap her foot around that one, but as we were saying, Meekins and Judy Connolly, two big players for the Pumas, and I'd say for the Northern Hawks, it's going to be the Kayla McCulloch and Sophie Podmore show. But as we say that, we can't forget about the two goalkeepers, Gabby Del Bosco, an ex-Perth Glory and an Australian underage player, and Carla Edwards. She's been dominating in this league for quite a while now.
Yeah, she played great last week, Edwards. A couple of vital penalty stops and kept a clean sheet throughout all of normal and extra time. She will be up there for the Golden Glove this season, and if Hawks do win it, it will further reiterate why she should potentially win it. I'm not sure if she's had one before, but she's definitely made a good case for herself. Gabby Del Bosco, likewise. I think her accolades speak for themselves. Played for Glory, played for Australia in the outdoor game, and if anything, the indoor game's easier. She just stands in that goal and covers all her angles, and you know the goal's a lot smaller. If you can do it in the outdoor game more often than not, in the indoor game you'll be even better. As we see Crevecoeur go to ground, Woolley flicks it over the top, looking for Connolly. Her and Meekins will be the danger women for the Perth Pumas, as we see the ball look to be played to Elias. Connolly wins it back, but gives it away to Crevecoeur off the left, but a fine stop by Del Bosco. And she recovers just as Crevecoeur was going for the rebound. That throw to Meekins, looks inside. Jan looking for Woolley, and now finds her. Woolley still going, tries to play Meekins on the overlap, can't quite find a way through. Hawks pick up possession. Elias flicked forward. Woolley will clean it up. In fact, it will be Connolly. Nice feet from her, plays it out to John in the middle, looking for Meekins. And neither side really able to keep fluent possession. A lot of turnovers we're seeing. Perhaps the early game nerves. Can Connolly change it? No, she can't. Now Podmore's on the attack, looking for the back post. It's fallen to Crevecoeur, who misses from point-blank range.
And just like the last game, it's two very contrasting styles of futsal. Obviously, the Perth Pumas are a little bit more like an outdoor team. They're a lot more direct, taking players one-on-one, but the Northern Hawks are the king of structure. They're the same all the way through their club, their men's and women's side. They like to play futsal the right way, or in their terms, the right way. But like I said in the last game, I'm a big fan of the direct style of futsal. So the Perth Pumas are definitely my team today. But I think whoever wins, it'll be definitely deserved. So it's a Perth Pumas side ball there after a bit of a miss kick from McCulloch. John's going to take it. Del Bosco has it at the back. She looks up. It's a nice ball to Abby Meekins. Meekins through the legs of McCulloch, and Edwards mops up. It's a great throw. And the number 6 straight away, is that Danielle Suckling, I believe. That's Gabby Del Bosco's called into action probably for the first time. Meekins goes again, trying to go through the legs of McCulloch. Doesn't quite get off on this occasion. Yillas. She's another one with big game experience. Suckling tries to take on Connolly. She's marshalling well. Jess John. Yillas. She's run into John, the number 23. She started exceptionally well. Meekins, the number 8, to John. If Jess John can get a shot off, she couldn't quite get that out from under her feet. But we'll say the Johns are a futsaling family. They've got Kai and Haley, who are two very good players in their own right. John, the youngest of them, and she's another good, promising young player. Connolly gives it wide to Woolley. John, number 23, tries to go down the line, and McCulloch's having none of it. She's pressed out there by Abby Woolley, and Connolly's going to run for it. Carla Edwards probably did a bit too much there. Probably could have just seen that one out, but better safe than sorry. Woolley on the right. She's lent back too far.
The Hawks will get it back now as we see the subs roll on. It's Coral Buxy. Edwards to restart. Plays it to the feet of McCulloch. Now wide to Buxy. She's dispossessed. But wins it back in the end. Now drives down the line. Just can't quite keep it in. Connolly. Play to Meekins. Connolly over the top of Jan. The ball was a bit loose. Woolley came in flying and the foul was called. I'm not sure if it was for the challenge by Appy Woolley or the one prior to that, but nevertheless, a free kick for the Northern Hawks just inside their defensive half as Kayla McCulloch standing over the ball. The set piece specialist, some would say. Plays this one into the D, headed clear by Woolley. And Van Vogt gives away the foul on Woolley for the push in the back. Dabusco clears upfield and looking for John. So still neither side yet to have any clear-cut chances, really. The closest coming probably with Jess John when she had control of the ball inside the D. Just couldn't muster the shot off, or maybe Crovacour's effort that she put wide from point-blank range, but the chance came at her too quickly. She couldn't compose herself as you see the fouls coming in hot and heavy. It's another one, and it goes the way of the Hawks once again. So a bit closer to goal this time. More in the range of Kayla McCulloch as Dakota Van Vogt is standing over her also. McCulloch with a dummy around. Van Vogt, it deflects, and it looks like the last touch was off a Northern Hawks player, so the Perth Pumas will get it back. 10 minutes into the match and still no opening goal. You can expect that coming into a grand final. It will be a cagey affair. Goals will be few and far between, and you see Connolly driving down the left flank. She can't find a way through, and it's a Northern Hawks side ball with Van Vogt, who plays McCulloch. Now to Buxy. McCulloch again. And loses out. Meekins fires from range. She had more time there.
Yeah, she could have probably run an extra 5-6 meters there and gone a bit closer to Kyla Edwards, but she went for the glory of the volley, which I always respect, but didn't pay off on this occasion. And Woolley's pressed I think Coral Buxy, the number 10 there, hard, and she did cough a possession. And here he is, Ingrid Gomez, the number 3. It's her first minutes on the court. She's another extremely seasoned player in Western Australia, and she's had national honours as well. So watch out for her. You can't miss her with those yellow boots. She's got a toe poke to die for, some would say. Del Bosco puts a foot on it, goes long, goes nowhere. With that one, it's going to be Kyla Edwards' goalkeeper's ball. Edwards goes long. Here he is, Gomez against John. Possibly a mismatch, but she's done well, and Judy Connolly defended well there, and that was a good spot there from Claver. And this is the first sub that the Perth Pumas have made, as Ruby Walsh, is that Ruby Walsh?
Jess Flannery.
Sorry, Jess Flannery has stepped on. I believe Ruby Walsh actually plays for the West Coast Cobras, but Jess Flannery, an ex-West Coast Cobra, she stepped on for her first minutes of the game, and I'm surprised it's taken 12 minutes to get her on the court, but she's another good young player.
Yeah, Flannery played well last week. She got the assist for the winning goal, so definitely one to look out for is Gomez. And the whistle's gone. It was... I'm not sure what's happened there.
I think she kicked out after she'd lost the ball there, Judy Connolly.
So fouls racking up for both sides.
3-2.
3 fouls to 2. Not in foul trouble yet, but could be soon if they're not careful. As Ingrid Basalo, the culprit on that occasion, but she's been important for the Northern Hawks. Missed a number of games, but still finished their top scorer on 11 goals. So it just proves how lethal she is in and around the D as Meekins looks to win in front. Here's Woolley. Flannery returns to Woolley. Lovely ball. Woolley looking to go to the back post, but it was blocked behind. And Edwidge is going to have to play a big role today. MVP in the round 6 clash that the Hawks narrowly won 3-2. She is usually very good when the pressure's on. Carla Edwards played in many games of high stature, whether it would be in AFA Nationals or Grand Finals of previous seasons. Hawks haven't featured in a while. It's been the Cobras who have played in the last 3 alongside the Devils and the Andinos. So Northern Hawks are happy to return to potential glory, but can they get over the last hurdle? As we see Paul check back on. Basalo, lovely feet, and now a chance for Ingrid Basalo. Lays it off to Van Vogt. Van Vogt should have done better, Luke. It was probably the best chance we've had so far. Maybe if it came to her preferred right foot, she would have done better, but it came to her left, tried to use the right and scuffed the effort, didn't she?
Yeah, I think in the big games, they're the chances you've got to put away because they don't come often and they don't come easy. And Ingrid Gomez worked well there down the line, and I think Van Vogt kind of snatched at that one. But it's one of them. She can't let that one go to her head because there's still another half and 6 minutes to go. So I think if she loses the head now, it's game over. But Gabby Del Bosco did maybe enough to put her off, so maybe we can give her some credit as well. Jade Paul takes the side ball. Down the line to Podmore, back to Paul. She blasts that one. She won't be happy with that one. If Del Bosco can go quickly, there's a 3-on-2 here for Pumas, and Del Bosco gives it to Flannery. She heads it down, and we've now got a 3v2 the other way. And Meekins did enough there. It's a Perth Pumas timeout here, and probably a timely one at that. With one sub, they have got to manage this game. So we've got 5 minutes 25 remaining, John. How do you see the next 5 minutes playing out? Obviously, we've got the 2-minute stop clock as well.
I'm going to say going into halftime, the scores will still be level. I think the Hawks will potentially get on top in the second half if they can overrun the Pumas. As Luke mentioned, one sub in a grand final, it's not going to be easy, and especially without their charismatic leader, Jess Byrne, who got the red card last week. I'm sure she'll be watching either on the stream or in the crowd, but they're going to have to dig deep for her and dig deep to bring it home for the Pumas. Got big name players though. They've got the likes of Flannery, they've got Connolly, they've got Abby Meekins, all players that have done it in both the outdoor and the indoor game. Flannery and Judy Connolly both have scored 8 times this season, so they've got the firepower. Yeah. It's just whether they can work the defense to open it up and create the chances and beat Edwards. As you mentioned earlier, Edwards is never going to be easy to beat. Such a good keeper, Carla Edwards.
But I think if we're going off reputation in terms of the football aspect, not the indoor, we've got Gabby Del Bosco, who's an ex-Australian goalkeeper and the Glory W League, and Meekins actually played in the W League as well, I believe when she was possibly 16 or 17, so another quality player. But in terms of futsal, we've got Sophie Podmore, Kayla McCulloch, and Jade Paul as well. They've all represented Australia at youth level. And Ingrid Gomez is battling well, and Jess Flannery, that's a great block, and credit to the referees there for letting that go on because they could have easily called a foul, but it was a great advantage. Van Vogt gets a touch on there, puts it into touch. Judy Connolly looks up, plays it back to John. John's very relaxed on the ball. It's good to see because people can rush at the back and kind of just go for a hit and hope, but John puts a foot on it and looks up, so that'll hold her in good stead for the big games. Jade Paul at the back. Gives it to Gomez. Paul puts a block in. Podmore. That's a good ball from Podmore, and Jade Paul maybe 5-6 years ago would have got that one. But after that ACL injury, it's impressive that she's still running. Del Bosco's got it in her hands here. Goes up to Flannery. Ingrid Gomez pushes in the back and possibly a little bit soft there.
Yeah, I think that one was a bit soft, Luke. I didn't see too much contact from Basalo. Maybe a slight tap in the back, but you can see they weren't even appealing for it. And now we see Meekins, similar to position to where McCulloch had a free kick from earlier. She skips it in the D. Podmore heads clear.
That's 3 fouls each now. So with 3 minutes 40 remaining, I don't think we are going to get into foul trouble, but you know, a concession of 2 fouls and it could get interesting. Connolly's got it on the wide here. Tries to take on Van Voik. Van Voik's having none of it. Gomez checks out. Podmore. She goes wide to Paul. Paul goes long, and it was a good buy by Jay Paul. Connolly. She wants to turn Van Voik again, and Meekins wins out. Out of nowhere, Podmore comes and says no. Abby Meekins, it's a good press.
Good work from Podmore to stay composed under pressure there, and now it's Crevacore, right?
All right, she was looking for a ball there, but yeah, Jess John was all over that one. To Connolly. Crevore. And Connolly again runs out of real estate. So that's twice in a row she's done that. She possibly needs a sub. Obviously, it is tough for the Perth Pumas if they've only got one on the bench and they've only rolled their subs twice this game. Podmore chips forward to nobody in particular. Del Bosco mops up to Meekins. She gives it away through the middle, and Podmore's a good touch. Abby Meekins, and she's now one-on-one with Carla Edwards. Abby Meekins all the time in the world, and Carla Edwards, what a save. That was a great save by Carla Edwards.
A big save from Edwards, keeping the scores level going into half-time.
Yeah, I mean, we said it earlier, Abby Meekins had a one-on-one, and she didn't quite stay composed and rushed her shot. That time she stayed composed. Not much you can do, but it's a good save by Edwards. Like we did say, she's going to be hard to beat. And I think just based on the goalkeepers alone, it's going to be a very, very low-scoring game. Probably 1, maybe 2 goals will win this game for you. Podmore, that's probably her first loose pass of the night. Kicks into touch, and we're into the stop clock territory now. 1 minute 50 remaining, and as a wise man, Fighty McHale, once said, 1 minute 50 is a long time in futsal.
Yeah, stop clock territory, plenty of time left. Both teams just need to slow the game down now. They don't need to rush.
Yeah, I think
no one wants to do anything silly and give away a goal before half-time. Edwards just throwing that one long to Crevacore. She'll need runners in support. Looks to swing onto the left bit. John, who's had a good first half, does well again, and Gabby Del Busco gets it back. Plays it to Meekins. Meekins down the line. Flannery back to Meekins. Over the top, looking for Woolley. And you can see what Woolley was trying to do there. A little flick over the defender, but just ran out of room.
So if the scoreline does stay the same going into the half-time, who do you think is going to be the happier of the two with the scoreline?
I'd have to say the Pumas. I think they've done well with what they've got. 1 sub when the Hawks are playing with about 5 on the bench. And they have had chances. They've had that one from Meekins where Edwards saved it. They had the one she put over the bar, and Just Jan almost manufactured a shot inside the D. So you figure if the Pumas can keep the Hawks at bay offensively, eventually cracks will start to come. It's not going to be easy to contain the likes of Meekins, the likes of Connolly, so offensively threatening for 40 minutes. Eventually, there'll be a slip-up in possession that the Pumas can capitalize on. For the Northern Hawks, it's just about trying to overrun the Pumas, move the ball quickly, create the openings. But at the moment, it seems that they're not playing that traditional 4-0 like they usually do. They're playing with a target. And now Flannery, Podmore wins it back. Is there something the Hawks can give before halftime? Crevacore gives it away. A big chance now. Meekins opens the scoring. And just like we were talking about, cracks have started to appear in the Hawks ship. Crevacore gave it away, and Meekins, he gave her 1 bite of the cherry. He gave her a second. She didn't make you pay, but there's no way she's going to let you off a 3rd time. And it looks like the Pumas will go into halftime the better unless the Hawks can respond in the next 30 seconds. Crevacore, she'll be annoyed with that error. It was unnecessary. Just needed to be composed. Elias has to stay composed now, but she's lost out to Flannery. Was there a foul in there? Miyembe had his whistle to his lips, but hesitated. And 20 seconds left now. Do you see another goal coming, Luke?
I don't think so. I think this is probably all she wrote for the first half. Unless the Hawks can craft something right now, but it doesn't look like that's going to come to fruition. Obviously, Abby Meekins, what a finish that was. She created the angle for herself and slotted into the bottom corner, and you could see she was happy about that one. And all the Pumas girls celebrated, so they're up and about. They're up for this game. Flannery, she had it on the left there. She had a good opportunity to shoot, and 6 seconds left. Podmore's got to go forward if they want another crack. They won't. Yiles, she's going to run out of time. The clock's beaten her, and that brings the first half of the Women's Supa-Liga A grand final between the Northern Hawks and the Perth Pumas to a close with just a singular goal. Abby Meekins finishes.
Yeah, great first half. End-to-end, entertaining, closely contested. And it was none other than Abby Meekins to open the scoring. A bit fortunate, perhaps, capitalising on the error, but nonetheless a great finish. And just on the screen now, we're having a look at some of the halftime statistics. So very evenly matched in terms of passing. 109 attempted passes, 61 completed to 109 attempted passes, 62 completed. So very similar. Hawks controlling more of the possession, 55% to 45%. And in terms of the chances, very even also. 8 shots, 2 on target, 1 goal for the Pumas. 9 shots, 4 on target, no goals for the Northern Hawks. So really not much to separate these two teams. And you figure a big second half is coming because Pumas, who have the lead, will inevitably start to tire. The Hawks, with their 5 subs, should overrun them deep into the second half, and it could create a good finale, a late equaliser, and will we see another final go into extra time, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting. We're just listening to Greg Farrell's team talk now, and one thing that he's saying is just stay patient because the cracks will start to show with the Perth Pumas, and that's nothing to do with them. That's just more due to they've only got one on the bench, and playing a final with one on the bench against a team with 5 or 6 is never going to be easy. And we've also got to remember that the Northern Hawks will bring out a 5th man play at some point, we're sure. No matter if they're winning, losing, or drawing, they're definitely known for that. Definitely in the men's side as well. So we're about to kick off now. We've got 20 minutes remaining in this Women's Supa-Liga A season. And it looks like it is going to go down to the wire. Obviously, the Perth Pumas, this would be an upset for the ages after finishing 4th on the ladder. And if they can get another championship to their club's name, they'll be over the moon. Especially with it's a completely new team. And Flannery, she has an early shot on the left. So, Carla Edwards. She goes long. Connolly's all over that one. It's a great first touch. Gives it to Meekins. She gives it to John. John goes, so that wasn't John, that was Meekins. She goes long there. Yiles looks up, gives it back to Podmore. So I think one interesting thing we've seen, that it looks like Podmore and McCulloch haven't played too much together this game. Obviously, they've played together for the WA state side, the Australia side at youth age level as well. So I think interesting, they haven't really played many minutes together. Obviously, they're on the court together now, so if they can unlock something, I have a feeling it'll be with them two on the court.
Yeah, definitely the most deadly duo for the Northern Hawks, Podmore and McCulloch. So much experience, so much talent between the two of them, and if anyone can respond for the Pumas, you'd say it would definitely be likely that one of them two will be involved in the play. As we see Flannery laying it off to Connolly, back to Flannery. She's under pressure immediately, but gets the pass off nonetheless. Jan, ball forward and almost picking out the runner Flannery. The pass was a bit too heavy. Amber Elias on the ball now. The leading assister for the Northern Hawks this season. 8 assists, a very respectable tally. As that ball just rolling through, Woolley happy to take all the time in the world. Every second that runs off the clock is valuable for the Pumas. She just hoofs it long. Probably could have been a bit more careful with that ball. Didn't play it to anybody in particular. McCulloch to Podmore. The two names we'll probably hear combining a lot in this second half. Elias, and a lovely reverse ball around the corner. Podmore keeps it in. The run of McCulloch was ignored by Podmore. She went to Elias, who beats the first defender. Back out to Podmore. Podmore cuts in on the right. And what a goal by Sophie Podmore. We said if anyone was going to respond for the Northern Hawks, it was going to be her, and it was. The goal they needed from the player they wanted it to be, and now the Hawks can potentially flip the momentum in their favour. Meekins, she'll be annoyed but not rattled, as that pass, a loose one there from the Northern Hawks. Van Vogt gives it to Podmore. Out to McCulloch, inside to Van Vogt. First time ball out. A nice touch from Elias. And a foul there. I think it was a bit soft once again. But nonetheless, Northern Hawks 17 metres out from goal. Looking for the back post. Meekins clears her lines. And Podmore restarts us. Elias to Van Vogt. Back row to Podmore. Nice play from the Northern Hawks. It's a lot more fluent since Greg Farrow had the talk with them at halftime. But as I say that, Willie wins it up high. And Willie puts Pumas back in the lead. She scored the winner last week. It probably won't be the decisive goal this time around, but nonetheless, Abby Woolley, what a season she's having. And only 17 years of age as well. It was Podmore, the hero turned villain, when she gave away that one at the back. And now again, Meekins, 3-1. Unbelievable scenes here at Subiaco. All within 30 seconds, the Perth Pumas scored 2 goals. And just when it looked like the Northern Hawks were starting to get it together, it goes from bad to worse. What are we seeing here, Luke?
What a finish that was by Meekins. And then the same almost finished as the early on from Abby Woolley, just the toe poke. Beat Edwards, and Meekins has got the ball again. And when that goal went in from Sophie Podmore on the 17th minute mark, I thought that would probably be it. But the Pumas have proved me wrong, and like we've had all night, we had the Dan Fumato show earlier on. It looks like it's the Abby Meekins show at the moment. Jess John, she puts that one into touch, and this is going to be all about game management now for the Pumas. They can try and waste time, but I think the best way to keep the lead and keep the ball is just by keeping it simple. And nice ball there from McCulloch. Podmore just couldn't quite get a touch on it. Meekins again battles well. She has it, she gives it away in the middle. McCulloch, the number 8. Van Voigt can't quite get a touch on it, and I think if the Northern Hawks want to unlock this game, I'd put Ingrid Basolo on. She's got a deadly touch, and she's got good work rate as well. So Podmore's checking out, and here we go, Ingrid Basolo's checking in. Here she is on the ball, the number 3. McCulloch. Probably another soft one given there by referee Claver. I think in games like this, when the foul count starts to get high, the referees have kind of got to be aware of what they're reffing in. Obviously, it's a final, so tackles are always going a little bit more, but doesn't need to be given soft ones like that.
I thought they were told to let more go, Luke. Hopefully it won't be a preview of what's to come tomorrow.
Yep, for my sake, I hope not. Judy Connolly, that's a loose touch. Emmy Yillas, it's a heavy one, and Del Bosco mops up. John, she was looking for the ball from Willie, and Probably just in terms of soft fouls, I think that's another one that's been given there. As Van Voigt's been taken off there by Farrell and Danielle Suckling's checked in. Del Bosco.
And you'd have to think a fifth man will come out from the Northern Hawks within the next 3 or 4 minutes. They've got 2 goals to make up and more than enough time to do so, but they definitely need to switch something up. It just hasn't worked for them so far. They've been getting caught on the counter. They've had the possession. They've been giving the ball away cheaply. And as we said, the likes of Meekins, the likes of this girl on the ball now, Abby Woolley, will make you pay. And here Woolley is again, a lovely 50-50 win. Connolly gonna go to the back post. Meekins, a great block by McCulloch, put her body on the line there. And she had to, didn't she, Luke? That goal goes in there, it's 4-1 and it's game, set, match.
Yeah, that was a very good block there from Kayla McCulloch. And the fifth man is going now. So Hawks, I'm sure they'll be patient. They've got to be. Emma Yillas had a great chance there. De Bosco smothered it. And Connolly, she's got an open goal. She doesn't shoot. Danielle Suckling does enough, but that was an open goal for a good 2 seconds. And Woolley, that's too little too late for the open goal shot there, but I'm hearing calls, and I think Abby Woolley's right. They do need to start rolling the subs. There's 11 minutes left, and we've only had 1 sub this half. Edwards. She rolls out to McCulloch. McCulloch will dictate this fifth man play. A very smart, very good player. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Jade Paul and Sophie Podmore on the court very, very soon. McCulloch, Suckling. They just got to keep patient here, the Hawks. They are good at this. They do train it regularly. The solo, and as I say that, Abby Meekins had the chance there to probably wrap the game and get herself a hat-trick and man of the match honours, but she's just wasted that opportunity. And what a ball that is from Yillas, and Carla Edwards gives it away. She had a beautiful ball from Yillas out of the back post. Del Bosco's got it. She just chips it forward to Meekins. Yillas all over that one. Kayla McCulloch brings it forward. Suckling. She's got a good left foot. And Basolo didn't make the run that Danielle Suckling was looking for. The Hawks have got to press. 10 minutes remaining, and it'll go as quick as a flash for the Northern Hawks as long as they're chasing this game, and it'll be an agonising 10-minute wait for the Perth Pumas to get their name back up in lights in the women's game. Suckling with the side ball, gives it to McCulloch. She looks up, gives it wide to Ingrid Basolo, the number 3. Puts a foot on it. McCulloch, Suckling. So interesting now, they don't want the cutting in of Suckling. So they put her on the right-hand side, and McCulloch with the blast, and she isn't known for her shooting. And Del Bosco throws it into the roof, and I really, really think that they need to start rolling a sub here, the Perth Pumas. They're going to get tired, especially defending this fifth man.
Yeah, not an easy task defending fifth man with fresh legs on the bench. Nonetheless, without subbing in over 10 minutes. Having said that, they don't have many legs on the bench. They've only got the one, but they've got to get her on. It's just Flannery at the moment. She's had a good first stint in the match. Give the likes of Meekins, Abby Woolley, Judy Connolly a rest. Get them back on toward the end of the match to see it out. It's high risk, high reward for the Northern Hawks at the moment. 1 goal more from the empty net, and you'd figure that that's the Perth Pumas with 2 hands on the trophy. However, you have seen them create chances with the overload, and if they get the goal, then Perth Pumas are going to be on their tails, and it'll be a nervy last couple of minutes. But Flannery just misses, and as we said, we needed to get her on. She's come on, and she's almost wrapped the game up.
That was a really, really good opportunity there from Jess Flannery.
It's whoever gets the next goal now.
Yeah, I think that's a good call, John. I'd say, honestly, whoever gets the next goal wins it. Even if it's Northern Hawks, I think if they get one, they'll get another. But if Perth Pumas get it, it's going to be a very, very steep mountain for the Northern Hawks to climb. And again, you wouldn't put it past them, but it's a tall order to score 3 goals in 5-6 minutes when you've only scored 1 all game. Suckling's got it in the corner. Gives it to McCulloch. Podmore's back on now. So she's going to sit at the back and try and dictate the play. But Meekins, and again another open goal. And she probably had more time than she thought, Abby Meekins. But we won't say anything too bad. She's had a great game.
Are they going to rue these misses? They've had 4, 5 open goal misses. If the Hawks do find a way back in this match, then you'd feel that the Perth Pumas will be in bed tonight thinking about chances they probably could have made better of. Nevertheless, they've got 7 minutes to hold on. The Hawks have 7 minutes to undo what's just happened. And that one's off the post, but McCulloch on the follow-up. That's the first one. And will that switch the momentum? It was a great ball in the corner. Ingrid Gomez-Basalo with a customary toe poke, ricocheting off the post and falling to none other than McCulloch. So it was a good call when we said it was going to be Podmore and McCulloch to get the Hawks back in the game. They've almost got there. Who can step up and score the third goal? Is Podmore playing the fly keeper? A big task ahead of her. She'll be up for the challenge. McCulloch under pressure. Gives it to Paul. And now's the chance for the Northern Hawks to overrun the Pumas. They've got to move it quickly. Podmore. Back to Paul. Ball down the line. And now McCulloch out to Suckling. Paul. Give it away. That's a bit silly, but cleared off the... And on the follow-up shot. So Paul getting away with one there, giving the ball away in the middle, but clearing the follow-up shot by Jess John, who's looking for that birthday goal. Paul playing at the back now. A lovely ball into the corner. McCulloch! What a save! And on the follow-up, Ingrid Gomez-Basalo just missing the target. Gabby Darbusco, after making the first save, went to ground to cover her angles for the potential second shot. Gomez-Basalo just hitting the outside of the post. Here's another chance for her. And just can't hit the target again. The chances are coming in hot and heavy for the Northern Hawks. Yeah, the momentum has shifted in their favour.
It definitely has, and if it wasn't for some Gabby Del Bosco heroics, it would be 3-3, and you'd be saying the Northern Hawks are going to run away with it. But what a save that was from Del Bosco, showing all of her experience, leaping like a salmon, and she'll be happy with that one if they go on to win it.
That's where the class from her Perth Glory days come out. The people that haven't seen her play think, was she really that good? She was, and she is. A save like that to get across the goal as quickly as she did in the context of the match that she was facing is remarkable. And if they do hold on, if they do win this game, they will have her to thank. But still a big 5 minutes ahead of her and the Perth Pumas as they play that one in the middle. Gomez-Basalo uses the body well. Lovely feet to cut inside. Maybe tried to do a bit too much, and the Hawks break away with possession. Paul's under pressure. McCulloch will calm it down. Gomez-Basalo. No real options forward of the ball. Forced back to McCulloch, and now Paul. We see Podmore come up. McCulloch back to Paul. Looking for the ball to the back post. Plays down the line instead. And a side ball for the Hawks. They can slow it down, get set up.
What would you do if you're the Perth Pumas now? Would you call a timeout and risk letting Hawks have a talk about it, or do you think they need the break more desperately?
I think I would call the timeout. Playing 16 minutes with only one sub on the bench is a big ask, and as we say that they do, it is the right call. The Northern Hawks are already going fly keeper. They've already discussed it. They already know what they're doing. I think it's much more important for the Pumas to get their breath back, have a discussion about how they're going to stay in shape, and it's exactly what Coach Hayley Jan is doing. They've just got to stay compact in that diamond, not allow balls diagonal or into the corner, and they've got to take their next chance when the Hawks give the ball away. They've had 4 or 5 open goal misses, but you figure if they do get one and the game goes to 4-2, it will cause the Hawks to drop their head and see them crowned as champions of the Supa-Liga for the very first time. The Perth Pumas, former side of now professional Zoe Spadano, she'll be watching on in awe of what her girls are on the verge of conjuring up. And as we see them take the court, it's Dalbusco, Jan, Meekins, Connolly, and Woolley. For the Hawks, it's Elias, Van Vugt, Paul, and McCulloch.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be an interesting final 4 minutes, and what a way to finish the Women's Super-Liga season. It's been a big one, and the last 4 minutes is probably going to be just as exciting as the rest of the season's been. So who's your tip from here, Johnny? You're saying Pumas or the Northern Hawks?
I think we're going to go into extra time. I see another goal coming, and it's the Hawks with the possession, so no likelihood. It very well could be them. And once we go into extra time, I'm not sure anything could happen. But Podmore looks to flash that one across the face of goal. Now at the line to Van Vugt. Scuffs the ball across to McCulloch, who does well to keep it in. Still McCulloch into the corner. Van Vugt, oh, just a bit too far out in front of her, but it took a deflection on the way through off the Pumas shirt. Paul! A big chance by Jay Paul, a venomous effort, just flying past the back post. Dalbusco gives it to Woolley. And left there expertly by Meekins. Connolly, that would have wrapped up the match, but it was a big save by Edwards. A great save by Carla Edwards. And corner played out into the middle. Meekins. Edwards again does enough.
Yeah,
Edwards, she's got to get off. Podmore has to get back on the court. They don't have enough time to play. They've got to get it moving on quickly. Fifth man for the final 2 minutes is what we'll be bound to see. Paul, McCulloch, the ball's a bit loose. Meekins couldn't quite win it back.
So McCulloch gives it to Paul. I think Paul's going to try and use all of the experience she's accumulated over the years and try and maestro Cork's way back into it. But Fabi Meekins has got anything to do, and that's a foul, and that's an open goal, and that really should be a red card. It's running into an open goal, but we've got a bit of deliberation here. I think I can sense a red card coming.
Well, it's going to be a big call nonetheless. It definitely was a goal-scoring opportunity, but it's only a yellow. Hawks getting away with one there.
Yeah,
and
I think Jade Paul definitely got away with one. I would have given a red card.
Maybe a bit fortunate, but for the context of the match, probably a good thing is you'd feel if Hawks do go down to 4 players, the Pumas would hold on quite easily. They're threatening the Hawks goal even with 5. As Jan, shots from there, maybe a bit wasted, turning over possession rather cheaply. And now we're into stop clock territory. The final 2 minutes. It's the biggest 2 minutes of the season. Pumas, who finished the regular season in 4th, can they go all the way? Or can the Hawks win their first bit of silverware in quite a while? Jade Paul, shots from there ain't gonna cut it. And Dalbusco, she goes long. Paul's misjudged it. Meekins, 4-2. Abby Meekins with a hat-trick. And that one should seal the victory for the Perth Pumas. Against all the odds, with only 1 sub on the bench, now hold a 2-goal lead with only 90 seconds remaining.
Yeah, that was an expert touch there from Abby Meekins, just to kill the ball dead and just to have the composure to slot it away. And a great throw by Del Bosco, but Hawks are going to throw everything at this. 1:30 remaining. Podmore's got it wide. She looks up to Paul. Paul wants to create an angle for herself. She can't. McCulloch looks up to the middle to Paul, and Meekins. That wasn't Meekins, that was Woolley. She just gets rid. Anywhere will do at this point for the Pumas, and Woolley's chasing her own ball there. So it's a side ball that Paul's going to take. So Paul will take this. 1:16 remaining. Hawks need to get 2 goals out of nowhere. Perth Pumas have just got to hold on for another 1:12 to get a historic victory over the line, and Podmore went to the back post. Paul with the right, and that's hit the side netting. Del Bosco, a great save from her. She's had a great game.
That was the chance the Hawks needed to take. Time is their enemy, and that's given away cheaply. Jan just can't direct the shot on target. And inside the final minute, the Abby Meekins hat trick deciding the two sides thus far. Podmore, McCulloch, they've got to get it moving on and quickly. Paul, it's not inconceivable. It has been done before, but it's highly unlikely. And the Pumas do enough to put it out for a corner.
I mean, if Northern Hawks can get a goal right now, with 30 seconds remaining, it would create a Grand Slam finish. But the Perth Pumas have defended well all game, and Gabby Del Bosco has had one of the best games I've seen her play in the futsal game. Here she is, Emmy Yillas. Gives it to Paul. Paul on the left. Van Voijk and Gabby Del Bosco with the drop kick. Isn't going to cut it from there, but she won't mind. She's had an exceptional game. Paul, they really need to get her move on here. Jade Paul. Gomez, it's a good ball. But Woolley all over it again, and Abby Meekins, exceptional feat. And I think this game is about to peter out with 17 seconds. You know the Northern Hawks will keep trying, but I don't think it's going to be enough on this occasion.
I think the Pumas have done enough. Paul, one last roll of the dice, maybe. Shoots from range, saved by Del Bosco, and now a chance for Gabby Del Bosco. Hits the back of Podmore. Meekins on the follow-up and hits the top of the bar. But that's it, the Perth Pumas have done it. Podmore just going to send this one long to the dismay of a full-time whistle. The Perth Pumas are the champions of the Supa-Liga for 2022-23. As the final whistle goes, an Abby Meekins hat-trick complemented by a goal from Abby Woolley was enough for a 4-2 victory. As we'll have a look at the full-time statistics and the goal scorers. So Northern Hawks with 264 attempted passes, 166 completed passes. Perth Pumas with 172 attempted passes, 93 completed passes. Northern Hawks with 62% possession. The Perth Pumas with 38% possession. It was 23 shots, 10 on target for the Northern Hawks, resulting in the 2 goals, 21 shots, 7 on target for the 4 goals for Perth Pumas. A hat-trick by Abby Meekins with a goal from Abby Woolley. And for the Northern Hawks, it was a goal from Kayla McCulloch and a goal from Sophie Podmore. So we will be back in just a moment with a player interview with, I believe, Abby Meekins. Her man of the match performance, undoubtedly. Join with the interviewer, Luke Ross.
All right, we are joined by Abby Meekins, the winner from the Perth Pumas, the hat-trick hero. Abby, can you just talk us through that game?
Yeah, a really good game. We probably saved our best game for the last game of the season. I think we probably didn't have the greatest season, throughout the probably first half of the year and second half of the year. So, yeah, saved the best one to last.
Obviously, you scored the hat-trick. Is anyone else in your team that you thought played well?
Oh, I think everyone did today. We were getting short on numbers. So I think Gabby pulled off a few really big saves, had a few good long throws as well. And yeah, everyone just got stuck in. And happy birthday to Jessa also. So she played well too.
Yeah, for sure. They all played exceptionally well, especially with only 6 players. So who would you give man of the match to for your team if you have to take yourself out? I think you have probably got it with the hat-trick, but if you've got to single one person out.
I'd probably say Gabby. Yeah, again, like I said, some big saves and an assist at the end there too. So yeah, definitely her.
Perfect. Thank you for joining us and well done on a great win.
No worries.
Thank you.